Always had to think about those kids.
You can see it from the road. The charred reminder of the 5 little lives lost in what investigators determined to be a cooking fire.
It's too hard. It's too hard.
The pain is still there, even if the rest of the community is not. The fire put the complex at the corner of Cone Boulevard and Summit Avenue under the microscope, and through that lens, the city found more than 800 code violations.
Okay, no problem.
Luis Mashango is from the Democratic Republic of Congo and was living at the apartments as this all unfolded.
The management was poor.
So were conditions, according to those who were inside.
You would automatically see that there are hazardous conditions with the ceiling sinking inside of the kitchen, with the mold all over the kitchen and water all over the floor.
This team from Guilford College spent the summer on apartment grounds. They even set up a complaint system to help the many immigrant families living there who spoke little or no English.
We saw broken windows,
roach infestation,
roaches, we saw rats, we saw all these different things. And we took pictures of them. We still have those pictures, and when we documented them, things were not addressed. So we saw all of that, and we saw that for weeks.
By August, when things weren't fixed, the city condemned 41 units, forcing the many immigrant families to uproot their lives once again.
Where are we gonna move?
The families had by mid-September to move out, a definite deadline, while another wasn't being met. Since finding violations, the property owner, Arco Realty, had orders from the city to fix the problems. Those repairs were supposed to be done by July, but when they weren't, Arco asked for an extension and the new deadline was set for August. When that wasn't done, the city condemned the units, offering more time for repairs while renters had to move out for their safety.
We try to be fair, firm but fair.
In November, Arco went before the city's Minimum Housing Commission and was given another deadline for the property to be up to code by February. The city says as long as the owner is making progress, there's usually reason to keep extending the deadline. In this case, the city says Arco has been actively working on fixing units and are more than halfway done, but months of missing the mark comes with a price.
Once the property is condemned, we issue the first civil penalty, which is $200 for that first day, and then each additional day is $10 until it receives its final inspection.
Keep in mind that's per unit. I pulled the city records for Arco and all names associated with the company. Since 2014, the company has been issued more than 500 civil penalties from the city of Greensboro for various properties, racking up almost $650,000 in fees. The city's data shows Arco hasn't paid a dime. I asked how many chances landlords get, especially those with properties that have been condemned multiple times. Is there any way the city can prevent that cycle from happening?
They're responsible for their own actions. It's their property. They have to maintain it in a safe and healthy manner.
Properties like the ones at Summit Ave actually do have value to the city, as long as they're up to code. It's potential for affordable housing. The city would rather have landlords fix the property than scrap it.
So if we just continually go in and push the demolition, we're just going to have a lot of vacant lots.
As for Luis, he's still in touch with many of the families who relocated. He says for the most part, they're doing better. I'm talking to him in his new apartment, where he says management is quick to respond and the problems are far fewer. I asked if he'd ever go back to the Summit Ave apartments when they're back up to code.
For me, Summit,
He tells me about a lesson he learned growing up. If you get bit by a snake, you don't trust it, even if it shows good grace.
Even if they're asking me to go there, it will be for free. I can't be there. I can't.
We have reached out to Arco Realty about paying the penalties and a progress report on the Summit Ave apartments. They did not respond to any of our requests. As for that February deadline for the apartments to get fixed, well, that passed last week.
And Erica, last summer, so kind of get people up to speed here, there were 41 condemned apartments. How's the progress to bring those back up to code?
Well, that stems from that whole report, and as of today, I talked to the city, there are 6 of them that are still condemned. 3 of them were up for inspection today, so it could be down to 3, but 6 total. So they still haven't reached that deadline. And because of that, the city can now go in and they can take over the repairs and put it up for auction. So We'll let you know if that happens.